Here's what I thought you guys might like. This was way back in 2007. This was on June 30th, and this is Woodhull Raceway. Those of you guys who are out that way know this entranceway very well. Looks like it was pretty freshly done at this point too. But this was a big show because this was their 4th of July show. And back in the day, I know they still do a pretty good job of it today, but back in the day, this was the premier fireworks show of any track, really. They took a lot of pride in what they did with their fireworks on 4th of July weekend, so I decided I'd go on down there and check it out for myself. This is my first time ever at Woodhull, too, and boy, what a show to be able to go down there and check out. Of course, beautiful day, as you could tell, at Woodhull. One of the interesting things is the track is kind of, as you can see, downhill from the pits. So there are some people who are in the pit area who are actually pitted sideways or up a hill. It's a unique situation there, and they have a great grandstand. And you can see because there's the tower, the grandstands right there, and the racetrack is actually downhill from that. So it's a wonder. Every seat is a wonderful view at Woodhull, and that is still the same today. And you can see what I talk about. This crowd was big, and you'll get a good look at it here in just a little bit. But see, the pits are way above, and you would drive down this road and kind of go over that way to get onto the racetrack. Mr. Excitement, Jeremy Wonderling there. Of course, this is the BRP late model days, I believe. I'm pretty sure they had switched over to the BRPs. And of course, this was, stock car era, Monte Carlos, which, kind of right there with the Nova should definitely be, if there was such a thing as a stock car Hall of Fame for the cars alone, obviously that car would be right there. And you can see this is how you sit. So even if there's somebody tall in front of you, you still have a good seat. This is the definition of a paperclip racetrack, in case you're wondering. A lot of bank in the corners, as you could tell. This is southwest, a little bit north of the Pennsylvania border, and just beautiful country right there. And this is still early in the show. We're not even anywhere near start time, and you can see the place is filling up pretty good already. But this was my first time there. I was totally blown away by the place, and made sure to get down there a couple other times in the meantime. And this was when you started to see a lot of the aftermarket bodies start to come in. I did this one too because there's a Ford Mustang right there. This was back when there were so many of these things at the racetrack. I know like tracks like Black Rock, they had a couple of features they ran for these. I always liked this one because I always like clever stuff on the back of the car. If at first you don't succeed, buy and buy again. And that's amazing how that works out. One of the few Cadillacs too. So nice to see something a little bit different there. You see it from the side. And that's why I shot this picture, because it's like you don't see too many Cadillac stock cars in the pit area there. So, and you can see in the background, place is really starting to fill up. Ron Cartwright Jr. here, of course, caught him right when he was closing his eyes, unfortunately. So I believe this is Bryce Davis. Not sure. If you know for sure, let me know. Send me a nice message if you can. And there he is again. I like the beer sign, in and out. So just in case there's no confusion as to what's going on there. So Kurt Van Pelt. I always like these shots in the trailer. They're kind of cool looking out. And there he is in the standard driver pose. These are the photos that everybody did and back in the day. So don't know this one. If you do, help me out. I'm sure I interviewed him on that day, but for some reason that's not there. Of course, not sure which Sword Out this was at this time. Of course, they were longtime campaigners, not just there, but Canandaigua, Black Rock, places like that. And I say Black Rock because that's what it was actually at the time before it became what it is today. So, again, a lot of people, I just wanted to make sure I put these photos in case you happen to know somebody. Now, you see, we're a little bit later in the day, and now that we got lawn chairs on the side of the hill, as everybody was making sure to get to this show. Heading out on the racetrack, probably hot laps, because it still looks like, no, that's actually a heat race there. So you can see they're lined up and ready to go in a heat race. And again, the concession line was huge. I'm sure this firework display cost a lot of money for them, but I'm sure they made a lot of that back. Great racing at Woodhull. Again, if you've never been there with that high bank and everything, it is a wonderful place to see a race. So put that one on your list as a place you need to go. Not sure if the concession area is like that anymore, but as you can see, they had it very well spelled out as to what you could get and where the lines were for all of that. And again, look at that parking lot, huh? A lot of folks here for this big holiday show. I would like to go up in the tower, see what things look like up there, and look at that field lined up. Got the graders off on the back stretch. You can see there they're setting up some of the fireworks, but they did have some that they actually did in the infield. 3 wide, no problem at this place. 3 wide was commonplace back in the day over here. I believe these are sportsmen that are, no, there's Cartwright, so these are modifieds on the track right now. Look at that grandstand. Man, they got more than just a few people in there, don't they? Look at that. That was still the early 2000s where you would get a lot of crowds that looked just like that. So one of the more fun days. I remember a lot about this. And this was before. Some of you might say, was this the year there was a year somebody came through with like a dirt bike and he thought he'd put on a show while the fireworks or before the fireworks were going on, and he ended up getting hurt, and they delayed the fireworks. This was not that year. This was well before that. 3 wide for the lead. As they come out of turn number 4, eating dodges and you know what on Fords. So I like that. This guy was letting everybody sign their cars, so I decided I would go ahead and do that and get on board. But look at all these people at Woodhull. Just a wonderful show on what was a beautiful day. I'm not exactly sure what you call that. Southwestern New York. I'm sure there's a term for it, but I don't know what it is. So, and again, I just wanted to show you the magnitude of the cars and the people that were at this show at Woodhull. Sport Out Recycling still involved, so I like that. Cows are cool. Little out of focus on this one here, but again, just wanted you to see all the people. I must have shook it a little bit. I love this shot right here. This is poster worthy right there for that particular shot with the cars. Okay, now it's firework time. This thing in the infield, I remember it just kind of sprayed left to right, left to right. This was the first time I'd seen those. I saw a lot of these later, but this was the first time I saw that. It was basically, almost like a sprinkler going side to side like that. It was a horrible sound effect. So, but it was a wonderful night at Woodhull. A great way to say happy birthday to America. I got a lot more of these. If there's something in particular you're looking for, message me. I defocus these a little bit on purpose because people have been known to use your photos without permission. I try to make sure I go through everybody, and if they do watermark them, I try to show them or give them credit. So if you would like any of these photos yourself, they are available for purchase. And if it's just like, you and it was you and in your car, I'd send those to you, no cost, obviously. But and these are not all the photos that I took to. None of these bins that I'm doing here on YouTube are the entire photos from those. So if you're looking for a particular track, we could send you those. Of course, if you want to use them, the price might be a little higher, but if you just want to have them, of course, let me know and we can figure that out. Again, subscribe, like, leave a comment, please. And I got one more I'm going to do. We're going to go to Cayuga County Fair Speedway next. And that's going to be from a practice early in the year back in 2008. More to come, guys. And, of course, we're going to be getting back on the road and doing some more stuff as things are getting a little better around here.